Hey kids, have you ever wanted to play a game where you kill your enemies by crying into their mouths? Have I got the game for you? It's Super Princess Peach for the Nintendo DS. Over the years, Mario has amassed quite the cast of all-stars, and this cast has in turn starred in their own standalone games. Luigi has his mansions, as well as New Super Luigi U and Super Luigi Brothers, and Wario has his lands and worlds and wares, and Yoshi has a cookie, a safari, an island, a story, a new island, a woolly world, and a crafted world. Even Toad has his own game in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. But what about the woman who's been there since pretty much the beginning? What about Princess Peach? Princess Peach only has two games that sport her name: Princess Toadstool's Castle Run, which is a 1990 game released for a watch, and Super Princess Peach for the Nintendo DS. In Super Princess Peach, the tables have turned as Bowser kidnaps Mario and Luigi, leaving Princess Peach to rescue the brothers Mario. And meanwhile, Bowser's minions have acquired a magic wand called the Vibe Scepter, which turns everyone's emotions up to 11. So in normal Mario games, enemies walk around levels with a dead-eyed stare, but in Super Princess Peach, enemies will walk around jauntily with joy or stomp around angrily. There's a Drybones who just paces back and forth crying, who I absolutely love. The game's story feels right out of the Mario and Luigi RPG series, with a lot of silliness and irreverence. Bowser and his minions are portrayed more like charming dum-dums rather than truly evil villains. Super Princess Peach was released in Japan in October 2005 and in the United States in February 2006. It sold 1.7 million copies worldwide, making it the 47th best-selling game on the Nintendo DS. Super Princess Peach was developed by Tosei, who's probably best known for the legendary Starfy series, but also as a gun-for-hire developer that's worked on literally 1,000 games, including Kid Icarus Game Boy game, Yoshi's Cookie, Tetris 2, and behind-the-scenes support for stuff like the Metal Gear Solid Game Boy Color game, and even 2020's Paper Mario: The Origami King. At the time of this game's release in 2005-2006, Mario 2D platformers were practically non-existent. This was before the new Super Mario Bros. Series, which hit a few months later in summer 2006, and the last 2D platformer where Mario was playable was the Game Boy Super Mario Land 2 in 1992, over 13 years earlier. I mean, Mario games did have multiple re-releases of older games in the intervening years, but nothing new. There had been some Mario-adjacent spin-offs like Donkey Kong Country, whose trilogy had ended in 1996, Yoshi's Island, 1995, and Yoshi's Story, 1997, 1998, depending on your region, and the Wario Land series, whose last entry, Wario Land 4, was released in 2001. So, Super Princess Peach was the only new Mario-related platformer from Nintendo in years, before floodgates reopened in 2006 with Yoshi's Island DS and the start of the new Super Mario Bros. Series. The game does bear a lot of resemblance to Super Mario Bros. 2, the last 2D platformer where the princess was playable. Peach's health bar is represented by hearts, just like Super Mario 2, and also Zelda, and she can also pick up enemies and throw them. However, Super Princess Peach does not feature her trademark hover jump from Super Mario Bros. 2. In addition to jumping on enemies and throwing enemies, Peach also has a sentient parasol for melee attacks. It also turns into a boat to help Peach cross the water, and this parasol can be upgraded to allow Princess Peach to slow her descent from jumps, attack upwards, and shoot a beam. And upgrades can be purchased in a shop using coins collected through the game, which is pretty unique for a Mario game. There are no question mark blocks or traditional Mario power-ups like the Fire Flower or Invincibility Star, but Princess Peach does have several supernatural powers related to emotions. When Super Princess Peach was released, reviewers criticized the game for being misogynistic because it placed such a high focus on her emotional state. So when she's angry, she lights on fire and burns things down, and when she's happy, she can fly a short distance, and when she's sad, she cries. You hear it in politics and organizations: women can't be leaders because they're too emotional, which is frankly hogwash. It's not true. Men can and do make decisions based on emotions just as much as women, and gender does not determine a person's emotional response. So for a game featuring a female protagonist and making her big thing that she's emotional, it's disappointing. Even if there's a silly Vibe Scepter that provides a story reason for Peach's emotional powers, it's just not a good look. And in practice, Peach's arsenal of fire, water, and flight ends up being a pretty standard moveset for an action hero. They don't need to be tied to an emotional state. In-game, the art style bears a strong resemblance to Yoshi's Island. The ground features the same pastels and rounded edges. It doesn't go so far as to mimic the crayon aesthetic, but Yoshi's Island seems to be what they were going for. The level theming is very similar to also what was seen in Super Mario World and Yoshi's Island, including a forest world and ghost houses, lava worlds, etc. The enemies are also familiar for Mario players, and bad guys like Goombas, Dry Bones, Bob-ombs, Lakitus, Spinies, and Wigglers all make appearances. Most of them also have emotional variants like an angry form or a sad form. There are even a few enemies from the 3D Mario games like Petey Piranha from Super Mario Sunshine. Because the Nintendo DS is more powerful than the Super Nintendo, the enemy sprites also have much more detail, so it's really nice to see the Flying Koopa Troopa rendered in hand-drawn 32-bit graphics, especially since the next Mario 2D platformer, New Super Mario Bros., would use 3D models for all characters and models, and that would become the predominant art style for the series going forward. There are a few moments of true platforming bliss, particularly around Peach's slide. One of the most fun parts of Super Mario Bros. 3 was just butt sliding down hills to wreck multiple enemies, and there are several areas in Super Princess Peach that allows the players to slide around. It just feels good. But overall, the game is much more focused on exploration than platforming, which makes it more in line with the Yoshi and Wario series than the Mario line of games. In some ways, Super Princess Peach is ahead of its time, especially for a Mario platformer. It does away with lives, which the Mario series didn't give up until 2017 with Super Mario Odyssey. And falling down a pit doesn't force the player to lose all their health, it's just losing a heart and bouncing the player back a small ways back, which is kind of like a Zelda game and also like Mario Odyssey. In each level, there are also 3 hidden toads to collect, and the only way to unlock the true final hidden level is to collect all the toads in the game. Collecting 3 hidden items in a level has become a mainstay of the Mario series, be it the star coins of New Super Mario Bros. Or the green stars of Super Mario 3D World. Overall, Super Princess Peach is an interesting game in the context of Mario 2D platforms. It's not really a hidden gem of the DS library, nor is it really something to be completely ignored. It doesn't play as good as other Nintendo-published platformers, but it's a great deal better than the other contemporary platformers on the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS. It would have been nice to see her get another game, to see where they would go with the concept, or perhaps a Princess Peach-focused expansion like Luigi got with New Super Luigi U. Thank you for watching That Was the Game, and we'll catch you again next time.